My Namaste to everyone. Pranam. Welcome to this session. I'm thankful to Frederick who organized this. And first part, we will talk a little bit about the conscious approach towards meditation. And then in the second part, which is going to be the main part of this session, is going to be a guided meditation, which was conceived by one of my spiritual masters. His name is Gurudev. He's from India, and he lives in South India at the moment, running his spiritual school there, with whom I spent the last 25 years of my life, and I was fortunate to be in his presence and learn and unlearn many things. There was a lot of unlearning, and so I'm going to share one of his guided meditation, which is called Sat Chit Anand. I will talk about it when we come closer to that part. Let us first start with the conscious approach towards meditation. One thing we all need to understand and remind ourselves is that we cannot do meditation. It is not in our hands. What we can do is a technique or a certain practice or a device given by some wise people. Meditation is a state of being where we arrive after a certain practice of a certain technique or a device or whatever sadhana that we are suggested from our teachers or masters. I think the same thing applies to yoga. All the wise people, especially from India, say that yoga is a state of being. We cannot do yoga. Yoga is something which is a consequence of all the practices that we may do over the period of months or years. Second thing about meditation is that any technique that we may choose to do, it is important that we give it a consistency of at least 21 days. When we are committed to a certain practice for at least 21 days without failing it on any day, it becomes part of our system. It almost becomes like a good habit. And it opens the potential of that particular technique or sadhana or practice or device, whatever we may call it. It gives us a chance to see the full potential of it, and it gives us a certain chance to harmonize ourselves with the potential and the energy of that particular technique. And once you feel that yes, this particular technique of meditation is working for you, then it is suggested that we continue it for at least 3 months. Then there is real chance for the actual strength and potential of the meditation or the technique to work on ourselves. So whenever we choose a certain technique, it is not good to judge something within a day or two that it's not working for me, or it's better to give it at least 3 weeks. And then in that time it will really reveal to you that whether it is working for you or not. Also, a period of 21 days makes you little patient. In any sadhana, sadhana is the word in Sanskrit which means when you decide to do a certain intense practice through a certain technique, whether it is asana, pranayama, dhyan, which is a technique of meditation, or any other practice that one chooses to do. So when one chooses a certain sadhana, a very, very important factor in the path of sadhana is trust and patience. And this is something, especially in India, all the wise ones have continuously, repeatedly, again and again, have insisted that no matter whichever sadhana you choose to start, best approach towards this sadhana is to trust the technique, trust the guidance of the guru, the master, the teacher, and remaining patient, not having a goal in mind that, okay, I'm doing this sadhana, so I must achieve this. We all, which is in our hands, is to remain committed, sincere, and consistent to that particular practice. The result is not in our hands. I have here two participants, Jinendra and his wife. I forgot your name. I'm sorry. And they have been to my retreat, so they know this. That the wisdom of the wise ones say that trust and patience are the two pillars of any sadhana that you do, and it will always help you to progress without any struggle on your behalf. And when the energy is not concentrated on a goal, then the energy is relaxed. Then the energy of the meditator, the energy of the practitioner is in the moment, in the now, here. It is not running behind a certain goal. So that approach really, really helps a practitioner, a meditator, a seeker. If you see behind me, there is a picture of Sai Baba. He was one of the most famous saint in India. And his main philosophy about sadhana was two words: trust and patience. So this can be included in our practice, no matter whichever practice you do, that if we can remain in full trust and in patience, then who knows that things may start appearing even before 21 days. Our goal should not be on the result. Yes, after 21 days, one can decide that, okay, do I want to continue with this particular practice, or maybe because you are not feeling in a certain synchronicity with, then it's okay, but at least give yourself and give that particular technique a chance for at least 3 weeks. I think at the moment, especially, we have that opportunity because we don't know how long this situation is going to go. So if you are continuing something, we can always continue. And if you are looking into something different, then yes, give yourself this opportunity to dive into whatever that you decide to do, at least for 3 weeks, and then see if you really like it, then definitely continue it for 3 months. This was also an advice from one of my previous masters, Osho also. Third thing is that meditation is not always a process which, many times we approach the phenomenon of meditation from the point of view that it will bring you some kind of relaxation, some kind of peace, some kind of easiness, harmony. Yes, that it does also. But at the same time, as I've understood from my teachers, is that meditation is a bit like you have a cellar in your house which you haven't cleaned in months or years maybe. So one fine day you decide to go down to the cellar and you switch on the light. And when you switch on the light, you see the mess. Meditation is like switching on that light. So, because meditations sometimes can bring us to that space which are unexplored spaces of our psyche. So I am calling our psyche as that cellar which has not been cleaned for many years. So it can be sometimes a little shocking also, but that's where the actual process starts. The process of cleaning the cellar. And so along with that process of our practice, the meditation, if you can be assisted by the right guidance, the right knowledge, and of course the right practice, then it can really help to clean that cellar and eventually have it completely cleaned. So please understand that only sitting in meditation will not solve everything. This was very clear guidance from my teachers. Because, if you go to a room which hasn't been cleaned for many years and you meditate there, the room is not going to be cleaned automatically. You will have to do something. And that doing something is looking at what the mess is and then finding out how to clean that mess. And that can be sometimes a little arduous process, little struggle, but it is worth it because you know what it means to have a clean room. And then when you burn in an incense in that room, the meditation is completely different. So, and third and the last thing, that it is very, very important, because meditation is, as we all know, and many of you already have been practicing meditation for many years, that it is a journey of growing into awareness. It is a journey of raising our consciousness. But that awareness, that consciousness needs to be applied in our day-to-day life. So that is what I understand as the extension of the meditation. So in that way, meditation does not end after that hour, and then we can go back to our unconscious pattern in our life and not attending the same things, but without that same awareness, same consciousness. So this was also something that Gurudev was making us aware a lot, that if that meditation is not bringing awareness into our day-to-day life, and there could be even simple things like how you keep your living space or working space, not that we need some fancy things and all that, but just that you keep things organized so that it creates a certain harmony within you and without you. For example, that is something. Or when we are dealing with people, when we are interacting with people, when we have a certain situations which can be challenging to our, do we bring that meditation? Do we bring that consciousness? Do we bring that awareness into that situation? Then you can say that yes, my meditation is working. So please understand, and I'm also on that journey. It's not that I've reached somewhere. I'm also on that journey, but I'm simply humbly sharing what I've heard and from my masters and I've been practicing, is that it is very important to extend that meditation into day-to-day life and bring that awareness into every interaction or non-action in our life. And then you will see that things are automatically changing around you. Situations may be the same, but your way of responding to the things changes, and that is thanks to the awareness and consciousness that you bring it to that situation. So you can try it and see how it works, and it, of course, it will grow slowly. Even if it is attention span of 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day, no problem. It has to start one day, and then you will see if you are persistent, if that remembrance stays, then that space will grow.